Hello and welcome to Goodard Farms. We're back with another episode of the Oklahoma map, and we're picking up some herbicide here with our handy pickup service functionality here. I somehow forgot altogether that we have a crop protection services set up right down here south of the farm, so we don't need to drive all the way back over to town to get our bulk products. And so we're going to be finishing up our auto drive course here. That's the herbicide refill point there, those white tanks. It's not really labeled, so I thought I would start us off here today kind of showing off where you can pick up the different materials here. This one's a little bit more obvious. This is the fertilizer refill point here, and it does have a caution fertilizer storage sign here, so that one I felt was a little bit more obvious. Now, I'm, as always, in the middle of creating my auto drive courses every time I go somewhere new on my 4X maps here. And so we got over here and I realized, you know what? I should really show off where we're at. So let's do this. And with that created, I'm not going to worry too much about the fact that we're a little crooked there. I'm also going to drive through the anhydrous point, but we're not going to bother stopping and filling that up at the moment just because I don't have any plans to use that. And we're going to take this all the way back up to the farm, and we should have a very exciting delivery available for us when we get back up to the farm here. So let's jump up there. I can't wait to show off our latest and greatest purchase. You'll notice we're down to $76 here, and that's after I took out another $200,000 in loans to buy some equipment. So let us get back up to the farm and see what we got. All right, we are coming back up here to the farm, and it does indeed look like our delivery has been made. I've been searching for the right sprayer to add to the farm for the last couple of days. And ironically, I'm searching for the right sprayer on my Mercer County series as well. And so I came across this little sprayer, and this is a John Deere 4023. And so it's an edit from some other things. It looks like it says a 4630 there, but based on the width of the sprayer and the styling here, looking online, John Deere does sell a 4023 that looks like this, which is kind of cool. It's a smaller sprayer, so if we hop in here, you can see we've got just a 660-gallon tank. It doesn't have a lot of options, but it's going to be perfect for our little farm here. And if we jump back out to the page here, it looks like it's only going to be an 18-meter sprayer, which should work out perfect for our smaller little fields here. But really, we were going to need a self-propelled sprayer of some kind to do our spraying, since a lot of the spraying we need to do is going to be after the cotton comes up. And so I felt like this is going to be a good addition to our farm. So we're going to try this mod out here, and hopefully it works out. I did decide to make the investment on purchasing it because this is a piece of equipment that we're going to need to use multiple times throughout the season. And I just felt like for the sprayer, it was a piece of equipment we should probably own. Trying to lease a sprayer out every time we needed to spray was going to be really expensive, and hanging on to a lease for multiple days throughout the seasons was also going to be pretty expensive. So we're going to give this a shot, and we'll see how it goes. So we're all topped off here from the herbicide that we just brought back from the co-op. So let's go ahead and get this guy out in the field here and see how this is going to work. We have advanced time into late spring here, and so you can see all of our ground now has updated so that we're in the I want to say germination stage, the first stage of growth here. We're no longer just in planted. It has turned to that first stage of green here if we look at the growth map. And that's going to allow us to update the ground with another spray type. We can see if we look here, we've already got some weeds popping up here. And so this is going to be the perfect time for us to get a pre-emerge herbicide down on our fields. And you can tell I've been working with some wider sprayers lately, so this one is about half as wide as the pull-behind sprayer we're using on Mercer County. And so I like this already. This is going to be much more appropriately sized for our fields. So we've got everything all unfolded here. I'm just checking we do have the ability to adjust the height, so let's lower this down just a little bit. And let's get going here. So sprayer on, and away we go. It looks like the herbicide is going down just fine, so no complaints there. I think that if I pop into the cab here, turn off our HUD just so we can see, we do have the tinted windows, which is something that personally I don't like. I know in real life you would probably want the tinted windows, but it makes it kind of hard to see the differences in the ground texture and such. We're not going to do another headland pass here. We're going to come up here and grab our long rows. We accidentally turned the sprayer on there trying to adjust our camera. That's okay. So we're going to jump over here, and I did get GPS installed on this, so let's turn our HUD back on for just a second. Get GPS going on here just to see that that's going to work. Anytime we use a new mod, I always like to make sure all of our standard stuff is working here. And so we seem to be in a good spot here, so we're going to just keep rocking and rolling here. As I was saying, though, the interior, it looks good. It's not, you know, the most amazing interior I've ever seen, but it's not the worst by far either, so I'm kind of digging this. The monitor was an option that we added in with the GPS. And so you've got the ability to have a GPS or not. Obviously, we're using GPS very heavily on this series. And let's see if the auto width feature on our GPS is working or not here. I didn't turn the best here on my headland, so we're going to back up just a bit and give this a try. Let's see how it goes. It looks like that's lining up pretty good here. It looks like the work width is off a bit on this sprayer. It looks like it's just a bit wider than the boom. So I guess if I had to complain about one thing, that would be it. And then also, you might have noticed, apparently my hat has fallen down through my head. And we've got a pretty unnatural grip on the steering wheel there. But I've seen that on lots of other mods, so I'm not going to hold that one too much against him. The hat thing would probably be something I'd want to try and fix, but all in all, for a new mod, I'm liking this. I think this is the right size sprayer for a self-propelled sprayer on a smaller to medium-sized farm. Definitely more realistic to see something like this, I think, on a small farm than a 4940, which is what I kind of wanted to buy and put on here, but it just felt too big for what we're doing. So all in all, I'm always happy when I find a new mod that's going to work out for a series. And so let's get turned back into our row here, and away we go. And so we're coming up on our first actual pass or patch of weeds here, so I'll be kind of curious to see how that goes. Let me just pull this up. Our herbicide rate is going down at what I feel is an appropriate rate here. We're not burning through the gallons too fast, and so we're definitely going to have leftover herbicide for next year, so we probably, again, overspent on chemical. I know there's a mod for that. The Global Company, I think, has a mod that will estimate how much product you need per field. I should probably get that installed into my default mod list at some point. Either way, it killed those weeds off, so everything seems to be working appropriately with this mod. This is a great little sprayer. I'm liking this a lot. So we're gonna get our herbicide sprayed here across our fields today, and then once the cotton comes up, we're also gonna need to put some fertilizer back down and top off our fields from that perspective as well. And so this is gonna be able to help us knock these acres out right quick. I think the last test that we really kind of need to do anytime we get a new mod is we're going to disable GPS and try and start a worker off. I always forget workers don't work with herbicide on seasons, do they? Because there are no bunches of weeds, it's only the little patches. Well, we'll have to wait until we get switched over to Fertilizer here in order to test out the worker, I believe. That's okay. This is such a breeze of a job here with this sprayer that I think we'll be able to knock out our acres pretty fast. We are only going 12 miles an hour though. I would think that with at least a US version of the sprayer, we would be spraying at closer to maybe 14, 15 miles an hour. I know I've gone up to 16 or even 18 miles an hour depending on the spraying conditions. And so that's something to consider as well. Just minor observations with mods. A lot of time you see kind of a slower working speed. If we pop into the store here and just take a look, for example, even the base game Rubicon is at 15 miles an hour. The Patriot's at 15 miles an hour. And so I would definitely like to bump the miles per hour up on this mod, I think, a little bit, and fix my hat. I think those are the two things that are irking me the most. You know, probably the working width here that's a little bit off. Those are all easy fixes though, so no complaints here. A couple of small tweaks to this mod and we'll have it working awesome. I get excited when we find new mods, or at least new to me mods, that you don't see out on too many different channels and stuff around the interwebs. I've not seen this mod before, but apparently I had it in my mods folder. I was cleaning up some old mod folders that I've downloaded, just thousands of mods over the years. And anytime I come across a John Deere mod, I was like, what's a 4023? That was not a model designation that I was overly familiar with. And so we popped it into game, and it was kind of an opportune timing for me, given that we've been looking for a small self-propelled sprayer. And to be honest, I just didn't like the older style sprayer that we have. If we pop this back open, the 6000 High Boy sprayer that we've got, it's okay, but it just felt a little bit too old for me. It's just a smidge smaller than this from a boom width perspective. But this is actually a sprayer that John Deere is still making. Whenever I find a new mod, I like to jump online and see, what part of the world is this even used in? Is this really an American style sprayer? And sure enough, I found a 2020 John Deere 4023 for sale in a few hours from me on Tractor House. So it's definitely a real thing. And so I'm super excited to find this. And it's also something that I found all over the country. And so I know they're using these even in the southern states. It's not just a northern state or a row crop type machine. I found a lot of these in states like Texas and Georgia, etc. And so I've got to imagine that these are not completely uncommon for people who need to spray in smaller areas, is kind of how it was pitched from a John Deere perspective, being able to get into those tighter spots. And that's really what we're trying to do here. So let's start up on this end of the field here. We've only got to make a few passes. This field is long and narrow, so typically I felt that we cover the acres on this field a little bit faster than the other one. Even though, I guess the other field's quite a bit bigger as well, but this one just goes a lot faster, a lot less turning around. So let's get going here. We are going to need to realign our GPS, which is a press of a button. And I think we're just a little bit too far to the right. So I'm going to squeeze us over to the edge of the field here a little bit, just to make sure we're in the right spot. And we're definitely going to be able to finish our fields with the herbicide that we've got. I did top us off while we were in the yard there just for the fun of it, mostly because I want to get the truck emptied back out so we can use that for our fertilizer. One thing that I did do off camera is I took the remaining fertilizer out of our planter setup and we stored it in our garage here, the one that's behind the bins that you can't see. And so we're going to start putting our leftover product in there so that we can hopefully use that for the next season here. I realize some of these products you wouldn't necessarily be able to reuse, some of them you would. And so that's an area that I haven't quite gotten into. I know a lot of times seed doesn't keep so well year to year, although I definitely remember even 25 years ago, we would have a bag of seed left over from the previous year, and you would use that. You know, I think we'd usually use those on the headlands or something, just to use it up, not waste. It felt like a very old-time farmer thing where you do whatever you can to make sure you're not wasting anything that you've spent money on. Now, I know I'm going to get the question a bunch of times, where can I download the sprayer? Anytime I use something that is somewhat unique or that I haven't seen a lot of, I get that question a lot. And as I've already stated, this is something that I found in an old download folder, so I really don't have an original download link for this. I did just a little bit of Googling, and with some help from my staff team, we were able to find a link to this sprayer on Mod Network. And it looks like from the credits of the mod, Farm Centro Sol is likely the original mod creator. And then Farm Sim USA and Canada Farm Sim also are credited here. And so I get the impression there was probably some editing done to this mod. I looked at Farm Centro Sol's Facebook page and couldn't see it released there, although I know he releases a ton of mods. And so I'll put the link to the Mod Network download in the description of this video if anybody's interested in getting this mod. So this is going quick. This is gonna be a short job for us today. I'm very excited to see that we're knocking this out so quickly, and for once we're just not having any problems. I like problem-free. We've definitely done our fair share of troubleshooting in this series. I think also we're making really great progress in this series already. We've just now officially wrapped up our herbicide with that pass. And so now we'll be obviously done with herbicide for the year. And so we'll head back up to the farm here and get all of the leftover product here put away in the shed. And then I'd like to advance time here and get everything set up for our fertilizer pass. I think that we're going to be able to knock the fertilizer out on this cotton pretty easily when we get to the appropriate stage. I think we've got to let the cotton come up here a little bit, and it'll be interesting. I don't think I've ever actually grown cotton to completion. I'm trying to think. Maybe I did in the Newland, Texas series that I did a while back, but honestly, I think I only did like 3 or 4 episodes on that series, and I can't remember a whole lot of anything about growing cotton. So this is all feeling kind of new to me, to be honest. And so we're gonna back right up here. I guess this is another test. We're gonna dump the herbicide that we've got here because we are going to store that product in this shed. We've already got our fertilizer sitting over here. And so I think what we're gonna do actually is maybe check and see if we're gonna be able to store this sprayer in this shed as well. That would be nice. It looks like the doors are nice and high, so I'm not too worried about it. I think we're gonna be able to back this right in here. Almost hit that door, not quite. We managed to save it, folks. Something like this ought to give us plenty of room to get in and out of the shed and use it for other purposes. Realistically, we're gonna get back into this thing here shortly, but we're gonna get this product all moved in and advance the time here into early summer. We're into early summer here, and we've got cute little baby cotton plants. Absolutely loving it. Now, what I don't know is when the appropriate stage is for spraying additional cotton. We're going to make a command decision here and say we're going to wait one more stage of growth before we hit these with the sprayer again. I think I want them to be up just a little bit further, and given that we gave them a pretty decent shot when we planted, I think we've got time for that. I'm just looking at the map. We're still only in this early stage of growth here, I think. I'm trying to match my colors up here. I think this is the second stage of growth, so we've got 2 more stages to go here. So we're gonna hit this in the next stage, and if you know better than I, definitely leave a comment below. I'm learning cotton as we go, and it seems that we've got a number of cotton farmers or people familiar with cotton farming that have been watching this series, and so I really appreciate all the feedback that you've been giving me. And man, is this loan killing me. Let's take a quick look at that before we move on. We're eating $3,289 a day right now, $30 of vehicle running costs, $536 of property maintenance of some kind, and then $2,723 of a loan. So that's definitely going to become a problem here at some point. We are $425,000 in debt. We're going to let this negative balance continue to build up here until we actually need to spend money on something again. But I think we are going to move into midsummer here before we start the next round of spraying. And my goodness, it's actually 91 degrees here in early summer. So definitely feeling that heat down here in Oklahoma. And we're back in mid-spring here, and it looks like our cotton has grown up one more stage here. I'm liking this size a lot better. This looks like the appropriate stage for us to start putting on our last final touches of fertilizer here. So we're going to be busting out the fertilizer and the precision farming and seeing what we can do to even out our nitrogen levels here on this field. You can see here we've got kind of a mismatch from all the troubleshooting we were doing with the planter, both here and here. But we've got it in a decent state. I don't think it's going to take a lot of fertilizer to do here, and we will have the automatic spray rate available to us here to match that up. So we're going to finish getting this thing all set up here off camera. And next episode, we'll top off our fertilizer, and then we'll have nothing left in our way to get into cotton harvest, which I'm absolutely looking forward to. Hopefully you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, drop a like. It helps the channel out immensely. If you're new to the channel, subscribe for daily realistic farm sim content. That's all for today. Ketterk out. What do you do when you can't dump the chemical out of your pickup service truck? You get into the sprayer and you load it up and dump it out of the sprayer. That's right, folks. Whatever it takes to get it done. Every day we're shuffling.